Hi friends, this is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. A safe space where being yourself is the ultimate goal. Each week we will bring you new episodes sharing our opinions on a ton of different topics in hopes we can get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our opinions and experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals. No one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences, our opinions, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, it's time. So grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Being Real With. This is a part of the Be Real Babe podcast where we get back to our roots and we talk to our friends, family, community, or the babes themselves about any opinions, topics, experiences that we fucking want to. So today, guys, we are in episode 123. 123, what a magical number, and we are being real with the babes, part 2. I don't want to give away the reason why we're getting together for another foursome in this episode. I want to wait till the good part with the girls to have this little announcement with you guys. But for those that don't know me, my name is Brandy. I am the host of the show, and I am so excited, you guys, about this episode. This segment of the Being Real With has been so much fun, getting back to our roots, talking to our friends and family and community, and even just the girls, and just, shooting shit, talking it out, seeing where we're at, learning stuff about each other. We've been loving the new topics, doing all this research that we've been doing for you guys the last couple of years, or our type of research, finding random shit on the internet. But it is fun to just get together and shoot the shit. And tonight we even had a glass of wine. Most of us had a glass of wine, or got super stoned before we got together and just had a really good time talking together. We are so excited for the milestone we're about to announce, and it just, some days it feels like we've been doing this forever, and some days it feels like we're just getting started. I know I am absolutely loving it. I am so thankful for you guys. I cannot express how much this means. Being a past photographer and artist, I've really felt lost over the last couple of years, and the podcast has given me that creative outlet that I've been looking for. But photography just doesn't do it for me anymore. But this feels right up with my alley, because if you've known me for a long time, you know I don't shut the fuck up, which I should do, because this episode's good. We want to get to it, but before I do that, one, I need a new ring light because this thing is making me hot. But before we get on to the show, if you are watching on YouTube or Rumble, please remember to subscribe and like this video. You guys, we are heavily shadow banned for releasing some episodes at the beginning of season 4 that we are still paying for. So if you subscribe and like the videos and watch them all the way through, it tells YouTube, hey, we love these babes and we want to see more of them. So please, please, please go ahead and do that. Turn those notification bells on. And if you're watching on or listening on Apple or Spotify, make sure you're turning on those notification bells. I do post first thing in the morning, so you will get that notification the minute an episode is ready to go. It is still the funnest thing for me on a Friday and a Tuesday to see Spotify be like, hey, be real babes. I still freak out a little bit. And then also on social media, guys, we are on Pinterest. We are on socials, obviously, Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you're following us there and chatting with us. Let us know what you like, what you want to see. If you want your own show, if you want your own topic, anything you guys want us to talk about, let us know. Shoot us a DM. We fucking appreciate you guys so much. But enough of me. Let's get on to the goods. Another foursome with my babes. All right, babes, it's time to get in the show. And today we have another foursome in season 5. Woo! All babes in studio. Today we've got Hales. Hey, Hales.
Hey.
We've got Kay. Hey, Kay.
Hola.
We've got D. Hey, D. Hey. C'est moi, B, your host. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up? I am Red from the
Good.
Sunshine. Saturday night. We're getting...
We vibing,
guys.
We lit.
We've never done this. I don't think any of us have ever really had a
cheers. Cheers to the audience.
Cheers to everyone. Because, guys, we're celebrating. I didn't say it at the beginning.
Yes.
But 10,000 plays, guys. That's
10K.
Guys. I can't even believe it.
Plus.
So,
Yes.
So
We are plus.
because your girl's a nerd, she does number stuff. So, which was kind of cool because we hadn't really figured out when we were going to plan this, and it all kind of came together like, okay, all of us can do this Saturday, and if we don't hit it, whatever, we'll just be excited that we're getting there. And last night, not as this is launching, as this is recording, we hit 10,000. I was at the gym, like refreshing it, and it just kept
We blew
jumping.
past.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god! And then it was 9999, and I was like, oh my god. And then did it again, and it jumped up to like 10,002, and I was like, oh my god, we did it. So
That's awesome.
If it was stuck at 999, I would have put that
Yeah,
on YouTube.
email one of us, text one of us, we'll go.
That would have driven me crazy.
like,
Yeah.
somebody please. But what's actually cool is YouTube, as we've just kind of started in season 4 posting there. Like, we did have season 1 and 2, but they were just audio, and I didn't really put much into it. So we're at 1443 for YouTube, so that's pretty good. And then Rumble 715, and we just started Rumble in September, so 12,190.
Especially since we're shadow bandish on YouTube. So.
Yes, are finally.
That's pretty good since we have a couple mornings.
And I think our first one actually dropped. Like, I'm not allowed to post the episode, but the strike actually is dropped because it drops over time. So we actually have, so we still have our warning. So if we do something else, we'll have a strike again. But so I've noticed that in our YouTube numbers, like, our shorts are starting to get more views. And I think that's because they finally, like, laid off a little bit.
Yeah.
And, like, that
loosen their hold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean,
we're
guys,
not
as we
terrorists.
said before, yeah, we're not. And we don't make money on this show. So it's like, it's not like it's hurting our financial, but it is hurting because we work really hard for this. All of us put in, so much time over the, the last couple of years promoting it, doing the content, doing the research, being here, editing, learning all this shit. The frustrations, holy fuck, the frustrations.
Go off.
I was going to say each program has its pains in the ass for sure.
Oh, and you think
even apps.
Yeah, and you think you could just like do a reel, and okay, because Facebook and YouTube and Pinterest, they all have the same kind of thing. You think, oh, just one. No, you got to make 3 fucking versions of it. Like, it's thank goodness for these girls. I tell you. So you guys, thank you so much for every watch, for every listen, for every share. It means so much to us.
We appreciate
big thanks. Yeah, appreciation is.
Yes.
Cheers to you guys.
So many hearts.
Cheers to you guys. Cheers to us. Cheers to 10,000. Cheers to you.
I'll drink to that.
All of it. Let's have a drink to that.
Yep.
And while we do that, guys, we wanted to kind of shout out, because we don't do this, and some of us are drinking some local stuff. So we have a wine club here in the Okanagan. It's Friend. It's actually where me and Dee met for the first time. We took her as one of our guests for tasting. So I'm drinking the rosé. It's from 2022. It says refreshing notes of citrus and cherry paired with hints of raspberry on the palate. They're in the West Kelowna, and it is such a beautiful, like, the
They have those bubbles, like the cute bubbles in the winter.
Yes, they have. It's just so nice. And so, we joined the wine club. We feel like that makes you like a real Okanaganer.
It should.
And so we can bring everybody that we want for free tasting. So that's why we were able to buy. They sold us on it, and we're like, well, and then they have this really cute beach, and they have
hard to pass up for
it's
sure.
so beautiful there, guys. So definitely try it. And I think, and Kayla as well is also drinking from Friend, ironically, in Victoria. Yeah. Which one do you have?
It is the white, and it's Big White, and it has aromas of grapefruit, peach, and citrus, followed by taste of stone fruit, with a clean, long-lasting, fresh finish.
You can get me a peach anytime. I love peach.
Oh my god! Right?
Yeah.
But
that's why I really want you guys to come down here so we could tour.
Yes.
I'm the worst person to do that with. I hate wine. I do not drink wine.
It's so funny. I don't either, really. But
the worst. Everyone's like, "Have you tried this? Do you like this?" I'm like, just all of it. No, I don't.
I used to hate
Sorry.
I used to hate it until I went to
Do you have
Spain
a juice
and
that I can sip
Switzerland with a friend, and that's all we drank.
Just give me anything but that. I feel so terrible. So yeah, I'm not drinking, but I am high. So
so that's something.
Hey.
We got our pen.
Hey.
So yeah,
I'm a nice mix of
I
both.
got a nice mix of both. It's Saturday night. Dee's finishing tax season, so you guys will hopefully in the coming weeks see her back on the show.
Couple days left.
Buy taxes.
Yeah,
buy taxes done. Kay's got a new career, new things for her too. That's super exciting.
Yeah, so exciting.
You get to picture her hot and sweaty in her coveralls and get to have her.
Oh my god, I'm like a fucking pig in my coveralls. It's so sweaty.
I love it because it's so interesting too. Because it's like when we first met, you had just stopped that job and you're in school to transition to this, and
so I was
girly.
Like
but it's like how you had told me about like
took a girly break.
Yeah, you're like, well, I do demo and all this, and like when I met you, you're like, healing from your accident and all that kind of stuff, right? And in school, right? So and had more time, like you said, to be girly because you didn't have to go do demo and all that kind of stuff. So
I would prefer to work in a coverall. They're so much comfier.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The other day, I was inside the submarine, and we were in like this little area, and there was like 6 fucking guys. There were like 6 guys. They were like electricians and engineers and stuff, and they're working with drills and things. But like everyone, it's so hot in there. Everyone's got their hard hats. It's like you can see the sweat beading and the safety glasses. I'm just like sitting back. I'm like, this is a badass fucking gig. Like. I'm like, I am in the middle of the man's world, but like I'm appreciated because I do a good job and also appreciated because they know that I can do the work. So when I get to that place, when I can go on the tools, it'll be okay. But like for now, they're so nice. They're like, you guys are doing such a good job. All I'm doing is literally cleaning. And I don't give up. I fucking love it. But just to be like the picturesque moment of those guys on their butts, like sitting there talking about what they're about to do and all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys are submarine engineers. Like, what the fuck? I just went from daycare to that. Like,
quite the transition.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the daycare kids have that much knowledge as engineers do, so it's definitely different conversation.
I truly feel like kids are way harder too. So
oh man, yeah,
I'm living the dream.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm so happy for you. It's just, I mean, it's just so cool, and especially because when I first met you too, your physical ailments were
I could do nothing.
Really, yeah, and it was mentally blocking you, and you always kept saying to yourself, "I'm going to make it back. I'm going to really honor my body," and you did that.
And look at you,
back, right? Exactly.
Brandy knows. Yeah, Brandy knows too. Like right when we first started podcasting, is when my post concussion syndrome was like the worst. It was like fucking shit. So trying to do that and trying to do school and trying to like line up for podcasts and stuff, I was like, I have come so far. But like, and then we just like grew, like you came so far and like we met these girls and I'm just like, what the fuck? Is this life? Is this real life?
We're at 10K, remember when we were like, God. 100 people listened to our show. Holy shit. Like
we were so excited.
1,000.
Hitting all the milestones.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah. And it's just growing. And I think for me, it's like, I've never really been into this instant gratification. Like that's never actually brought me true happiness. When something happens so easy, I'm like, well, that seems suspicious.
That seems weird.
That seems weird. And it's all the stuff.
But when you put so much work into something, though,
you got to get out of the habit of seeing it that way, especially when you've worked for it, right?
Yeah.
And Brandy, you work hard for everything. You work so fucking hard.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. It feels good. It feels good to be here. And it's cool when people reach out, like after the fertility one, I had quite a few messages of people like, I had no idea, like growing up, that's what you're going through as a teenager. And thank you for sharing. Like more people should be sharing.
Good.
I know it's hard, but because that was a really, like I told you, Hales, it was like, I was worried about it a bit, right? Because it was, and it was coming at it in a different way that, like, I don't know. But that's what I love about the show is that when me and Kayla did that episode about my miscarriage in season 1, I was a very different person than who I was talking to you about this in season 5, right? So it's just
way different.
Dude, that was I think so far that was probably one of my favorite episodes. It was just such a I just liked how honest you were. I think it was a good one.
Thank you.
Well, and we needed to hear it from that perspective too, as well, because
I think your perspective was very refreshing and really like just needed.
Honest. Real.
And it's a hard time. A lot of people, like we said, are going through it a lot more now than we've ever seen it, right? So I just hope that, it just like people could, see that you can be. I mean, it's all anyways, whatever. And whatever. Right. But, like I could keep going back. I've wanted to get to know the babes more, and we wanted to celebrate 10K. So again, guys, thank you so much. We'll just keep saying thank you. We'll never stop.
Thank you.
Sharing. Thank you. Love you guys. If you want to be on the show, all those things, we love you. But let's get to know our babes a little bit more. Some of us, you guys learned back in our audio days a little bit more about me and Kayla, but maybe you don't want to go back to audio and you're new now. And so let's just start. We'll jump, kind of go around. Yeah, we'll refresh. We'll play pass the baton. I'll pass it to someone and we'll just kind of go around. So I'll start with Kay. So Kay, tell us where you were born, no, when you were born, what year, and how old that makes you, because I'm not good at math.
Okay, I was born in 1991. That makes me 32 years old. And it doesn't say where, so just when.
Yeah, we can say where. Tell where and tell us about your hometown. Yeah, we'll just do those together.
I was born in the Fort Saskatchewan Female Penitentiary. And I grew up in Grand Prairie.
I love it.
Those are my things.
Those are my things.
Born in jail, and I grew up in GP. I'm hard as fuck.
Badass.
In my blood.
And I think that was one of the things that, like, when we first started talking, because when we started the show, we had to be like really honest really quickly, right? Like,
yes,
it wasn't something that we could like necessarily, like, she could necessarily hide from me. She's like, so yeah, by the way, da 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 da, and I was like,
that's just one of those, like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, holy fuck,
okay.
like, I would imagine you to be like
but
a psycho.
That's a growth milestone
100%.
Because there were tears in season 1.
There were so many fucking tears.
The first time talking about things, and like it's not the same.
Yeah.
You know
what
I'm
saying?
Like, I don't know. There's a lot of growth.
Yeah. And there was like, and you were finding out stuff. I don't know if people knew that or if we said it on the show, but you were finding out about your birth mother at the same time.
Yeah, I
wanted to know more about her.
I got a box of paperwork from my adoptive mom. She had all of my stuff. And while Brandy and I were recording, she sent it because I asked for it. I kind of wanted it. I just wanted to know what she had. So she sent it. And I was like, it was literally like, oh my God, I am so grateful for the fact that you and I decided to do this when we were doing it, because had I not had you through that period, I think it would have been really weird for me by myself. But like, I had you. So like, I had someone who had a level head, who could be like, no. So not just me, but like my therapist was like, 2 feelings can exist in one moment. And then you reiterated that back to me. Cause like sometimes I would get like angry and confused and whatever, but Brandy was always there to just be like,
sometimes you need that mirror back.
Yeah. And it was awesome. And it was really awesome for me.
Yeah. And it was so beautiful to me, because I was like, I'm actually watching someone that benefited from adoption going into this decision that, you know, we're probably not going to be able to have one. And I was like, but look at Kayla, she's fucking incredible. And thanks to Debbie, like, you know, she got that life and she got that second chance, and look at her now and who she is in my life. And maybe I could, I'm going to cry. Maybe I could do something, you know, do
you
that
two
for somebody
definitely
else,
have
right?
that different. Yeah,
for sure.
That universal, like, you know, that meet cute that you see in the movies. Like, we definitely
Mm-hmm.
had that. And we've had to be like super honest and vulnerable and real through our hard times, like through making the show. It's not easy, you guys. Like, celebrities, I don't mean to be this way, but influencers, celebrities, famous, rich people, I'm not saying that they don't work hard, but most of them send their stuff off. They have
third-party contractors.
They have, exactly. Like, we did this we were both going through some really fucked
from
up
the
times,
ground up.
From the ground up, like, and still to this day, I still do everything, and the girls like help in those ways, but like, I create all the stuff, and I'm not perfect at it, and I never claimed to be, but I want to show that you can do it, and
pretty
fucking
it takes
good time to learn.
Dude,
Thank you.
Yeah,
very good.
For sure.
Yeah,
we did. I'm pretty loving it. I mean, this Riverside was a game changer for sure.
Yeah,
seeing you guys is a whole different, you know, because I remember like both me and Kayla would be like just audio and we'd be talking, and I'd just kind of like stare off and I'd be listening.
Me too.
But then I would just like be stoned and I'd be like staring at something on my wall and I'd be like, holy fuck, what was she talking about? I'm like, what were we talking about?
Where are we?
Oh my God, who am I? And I'm like, but now that like you guys are in front of me, I mean, I still do that, don't get me wrong. But
it's more
like,
of a conversation.
Yeah.
Someone else to pick up when you lose
exactly. But yeah, Kayla's story, and like, I think it was just, again, perfect timing, divine timing, and just helping each other be that sounding board. Or I used to always say, like, dude, I'm just cleaning your windshield. Like, you know this shit. You just got some mud on your windshield, and I'm just cleaning it off for you. You know what you're doing. You're like, you know, I just listened, and she'd come to her conclusion. I'm like, I didn't even fucking say anything. I just listened. It's like when you go to your boss with a computer problem and it fixes itself. You're like, I swear to God, 2 seconds ago.
Yes.
I love that.
I hate that.
So true.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Grand Prairie, is the people that I've met. And Kayla, you know, like, if I wasn't in Grand Prairie, you weren't in Grand Prairie, we would have never met, because that's where our connection, like, not started because we both weren't there, but it actually brings us back a lot, and knowing the same people and the same like life that it was. So I actually like love Grand Prairie for that connection. Yeah. Let's pass over to Hales. When were you born? How old does that make you? Where are you from? Tell us about it.
I was born in 1989. Save the best for last. That makes me 34 this October. I was born in good old Edmonton, Alberta.
Yes.
It's Edmonton, Alberta. I don't have to tell you. I saw this video today saying that these guys from the States thought Edmonton, Alberta was hella American because we have mullets. We have what the hell was it? It was mullets. We have guns, and we have something else. And I was like,
cowboys, probably.
Y'all,
don't want to see.
I don't ever want to be called American, but like, wow, we might be like, goddamn, like it was just really funny. So
it does have a Texas vibe with snow.
Yeah, good old Alberta.
Yeah, I love it. But you know what, though? There's nothing like BC has community, but there's no community like the Alberta community, though. Like, I will say, like, that is one thing that I felt there because most people aren't from there. And so, like, you know, there's a lot of people that have to make their family with the people around them. So those that have stayed there, born and raised, help all the people come in and accept it. And it's like you have to build a community when you're in those extremes as well.
Well,
like,
I was going to say,
no fucking joke.
Nick's family moved here. My family all moved to Alberta. Like, my mom's not from Alberta. She's from New Brunswick. My dad's from England. He moved here when he was 5. So, like, I'm very much, like a first generation Edmontonian right here.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, but you love it, and now you know what to expect growing up with your daughter there too, right? Which
absolutely.
I love.
No, she's second gen. I love it.
I love it too. Yeah. And plus, are we Oiler fans then?
No. We're Habs fans over here.
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
We're Montreal Canadian fans, but I mean, through the playoffs, absolutely. Like, I'll cheer for the Oilers. Nick was watching Tampa Bay and Toronto, and I'll cheer for Toronto.
Yeah, they just won.
Yeah, I'll cheer for
Grant is stoked.
I'll cheer for Canadian teams for sure, but no, Oilers, sure. I mean,
sure.
They're good when they're good. They're shit usually, but whatever.
I just feel like Evie would look really cute in their colors.
Absolutely.
I feel like
she'll look cute.
Very, like,
all colors.
Any of them on all colors.
I would love to get her a little jersey.
Oh, I love silly. I love that. Grant called me just before this and he's like, guess what? He just took the Jag out to go and I was like, what? Like freaking out. Like, what? What happened to the car?
You crashed.
The fuck? And he was like, the Leafs won. I was like, I'm going into the podcast right now. But he gets beaked all the time. So of course when they have those wins and he's been
I have a friend that does too. So he's very boastful when they win and it makes me laugh. He used to always bet me when we worked together for cupcakes. If my team won, I owed him, or he owed me, and if his team won, I owed him cupcakes.
I mean, that sounds like a win-win to me. Everyone's getting cupcakes, so that works. That's awesome. I actually bought Grant a Leafs jersey last Christmas or the Christmas before, so it was nice to actually get to see him wear it for that. And now hopefully he'll continue wearing that. Yeah. So pass over to D. D, where are you born? When, where, how old are you? Yeah, you know, so far, you know.
So I am the baby of the babes. I was born in 1996, a ripe age of 27. I was born in a small town south of Ottawa. Nobody wants to know where it is or look it up. Hick is an absolute understatement, like a town of like 2,000. Definitely why we needed to leave. Yep. There's a reason why we're in BC now and not in Ontario.
That's very fair.
Yeah, it's like there could be 80 documentaries just on the fuck things that go on in there. You know what I mean? Like people riding lawnmowers as vehicles.
Yeah.
My high school had a day that was called Hay Day, where people drove like tractors and
anything but a vehicle.
And we all did a bunch of like hick activities in the football field all day. Like that's just what we did. It was, like Cowboy Boots 24/7. Like it's just like hick was literally an understatement. Like you said mullets, like that bitch was like the greasier mullet.
Weirdest image in my head right now. I am obsessed.
I got a Joe Dirt image going on in my head.
Like very like
and if it wasn't that, then they were like super stoner, you know, the little crew, which love them still.
Yeah. That's how you survived the heydays.
I love that.
For sure.
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah. It was a time.
It was a time.
Can we do a tour where we just go to everybody's like birthplace and like child thing and do some of the things?
We should.
You'll be able to count 5 teeth total in my hometown.
I'm so excited for that.
Let's do it like my cribs, but like our hometown.
Yeah. Oh my god.
This is where I grew up.
Oh my gosh.
This is where I went to school.
This is where I got my first drugs. This is where I did
first
this.
Oh my
drugs.
god.
My
This is
first
where I
This is where I
got
drug.
my
first smoked my first marijuana.
Yeah, with my pop can and my fucking
Maybe my apple.
Bobby
Which was
pin.
out actually the bus window
Mine
for
was
me.
my earrings. I used to take my earrings for fucking pop can.
The earrings. Oh yeah, the pop cans, and then you accidentally inhale it and eat it.
Yeah.
The best.
Freaking
The
face.
best.
Oh,
What about you, B?
Okay, well, I was born in 1986, so I am the elder of the team. As per usual, I was held back, so I was the oldest all the time. So that, makes me 36 years old. Just turned 36 December,
Young.
So I kind of, young. I kind of freaked out, and I was like, I'm
36 years
35.
young?
I'm 36. 36, yeah. It's a good age. My grandma, I think, was this age when I was born, so we broke that cycle.
There you go.
I am from a small town called Port Alberni. It is on Vancouver Island. It's a small town. It's a very small town.
It is.
It's a
I need to see the island.
yeah,
You
it's
should
beautiful.
come.
Like I still get would love to if we guys wanted to
We
go
want
down.
to,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd go down with you guys to visit.
We
It's
can
beautiful.
camp.
It's just not a place. Yeah, go camping. It's such a great place to
Mhm.
tour and a good place to raise kids. But for us, it's just not like that's why we love Kelowna because it's got like my favorite things about Port about being like nature and the lakes and
Water.
the mountains and being in a valley and the water and
Yeah.
nature.
Mhm.
But it also has the busyness of like the city,
So
like
it's
kind of like
not
Grand Prairie, like
slow-paced.
exactly. It's just too slow paced for me personally there. But I think it's beautiful. I think Port Alberni is beautiful. I think I grew up thinking I was going to live there forever, and then when I was later on, I was like, no, and now I'm like. Love you, Mom. Never going back. It's just too small for us. Yeah. And like work, there's just no work. And it's just like, no, I couldn't, that stress. Like, no.
No one can blame
you. No one can blame me. No. So I'll just go on to the next one and explain what my family environment was like, and then I'll pass it off. So for those that don't know, my parents divorced when I was 2 years old. So I come from a divorced family several times. My grandparents were divorced as well, and they remarried. So we were a very huge family because everyone was like remarried and lots of kids. I was a single child for 12 years.
Forever.
So and I was also raised by different people. I've talked about this before where my mom had me like Monday to Friday, and every second weekend my grandparents and my dad would take me. So my mom had weekends off with me, which was great. She was 19, 20 in her early 20s. So that was great for her. Have a break. She was working full time. My aunts would babysit me because they were like just in that teenage years. So I was really surrounded by family in all different levels. And so I got to like see what teenage life was like early and like having kids, and like my aunt had a miscarriage when I was like 12 years old. So I seen that and watched my mom go through that's probably why I'm terrified to have a baby. Watch my mom almost die giving birth to my brothers. And then at 12, everyone had babies from my real dad, from my mom, from my aunts.
When you
it was
were
like
12.
It went from me. I was
Not
12. Not
Whoa!
at 12.
I was like,
When I
you
was
were
12.
12. Okay, I'm like,
I was
who
12.
was 12?
No one was 12.
Yeah.
There was no consensual sex. Let's be
Okay.
clear. When I was 12, everyone started having babies.
No fair.
That in my family, not around me and my friends in school. There was a couple, but not all of them. So I grew up with like very like extended families, and looking at family was more than just blood. It was like who was around you and who was married, and that divorce was okay. Not like okay, like, but not as like shunned.
Accepted.
So it was accepted, right? Because it was like if you're not with the right person, so that was great. And it showed me that you can find other love because people did in the family. And so I went from at a 12-year-old, everyone having kids, there was like 2 of us, to like fucking 10. And then plus my dad's side was like 14, and I was at that babysitting age. So I did all the babysitting. So and I started working at like 16 because we didn't have lots of money. So if I wanted anything for myself, I had to work. So very good family environment in the sense that like we were very close. There's lots of mental health, shit going on that no one really had awareness of, but has been now over the last couple of years. Just really great to see. I don't have, I think it's a normal family with normal family dynamics and normal family things, right? Like as we grow up and we start sharing with each other, I think we can all see that, it wasn't just our family that was the only ones that are fucked up this way, or, everyone has something, just it might look different. So I think my family is, when I was growing up, I was like, my family is fucked up. And then now as an adult, I'm like, you know what? I think we're pretty on par to everyone else's fucked up family
Everyone
too.
is a little fucked up,
right?
right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll pass it to Kay. How was your family environment like growing up?
It was really good. I was adopted, if if everyone's following along, if you're not, I was adopted at 3 years old. So I had a really good life. Like, my parents were really good. They were in their 30s when they adopted us. So this is a weird thing that I remember all the time. My parents are exactly 30 years older than I am. So I'm 32. That makes my mom 62. My dad's probably 64 or 65. But I had a really good life. I had a really good fucking life. I was blessed to turn out that way. And I always remember, like, I remind myself that, like, as an adopted person, for as shitty as things were in the beginning, I did very good. Like, my parents cared. My dad cared. My mom cared. My brother cared. And at the end of the day, I think that's all that you need, right? Like, people to care, people to give a shit.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't see it when they were caring, and I didn't care to see that they were caring.
You always see it in, like, retrospect.
They cared. And I have moments where I'm, like, talking to my son, and I'm saying things, and I'm like, fuck, I sound like Debbie. Fuck, I am Steve right now. I am Steve. And I get so mad, but I'm like, okay. Then I call my parents every time that happens. I'm like, hey.
They're your parents. You're going to have a little of them in you.
Hey.
They love to hear that, though. You know,
guys,
they do.
Yeah.
So remember that time I was an asshole?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
dude, I still call my mom to these days about some stuff. Like, dude, you were right. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Even Orlando, he's like, okay, Jackie, like my mom half the time. I'm like, oh God.
Even Doris, like my partner's mom, even her.
Things, honestly.
I'm like, hey, Doris.
Doris is my middle name.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah. I love that.
Oh my God, I'm calling you Dee Dee from now on.
I will too. Dee Dee.
I used to love because like DW, like
yes,
Dora Winifred, and it'd be like Doris, so close to Dora in public school. It was just
I love it. I love it. But yeah,
I'm glad.
So
that's what inspires me to know that, you know, when it's the time, if it's right, that it would be a good decision, because you hear, you know, that was a really positive thing for you, and that
it was the best thing that ever happened to me in my whole fucking entire life. Had those people. So the really weird thing is they were in, like, so when you go for adoption, it's like a long process, right? So
for sure.
When they initially signed up, they knew what they wanted. They had put it on paper, and I'm older than my brother by 18 days, and they ended up with him first and then me later. But, like, it was just a really great thing. Like, you know, it was really great that I got to be with a family. And even like my aunts and uncles and stuff, like we'd be at family gatherings and they'd be like talking and they're going on about how I'm so tall and I'm so beautiful and I don't look like anybody, but like I'm still part of the family. And like that's where I was like, okay, these people are good. Like I'm okay. Like it's okay. Everything's fine. Like I knew from a young age, like right from literally I knew before I got adopted that my parents were not my parents. I just knew because whatever, all my shit and things. Might be a little drunk. We're just vibing. We're just vibing.
Cheers to Debbie and Steve.
Cheers to my mom and dad. You guys fucking did a good job.
Holy shit, Debbie and Steve.
Cheers.
Good job. Good job, guys.
Absolutely.
You did good.
You
did good.
It turned out okay.
You did good.
I just want to like kind of like hone in on like a certain point. Like when Brandy and I started, I was still pretty troubled about all of this. And I was just talking to my lash artist today as I'm laying there getting my lashes refilled. And she's like, do you honestly realize how far you've come in life? Like she's known me for 4 years.
Yeah. Or where you could have been or
what I could be doing. And it's
just nuts. Yeah.
I think about it all the time. And I say thank you all the time. Like to my biological mother, to my parents that raised me, to all the people that had a part in this. I'm like, everyone had their part and everyone played their part. And it just took me to get to that certain point where I was like, I have to take control.
You were still meant to be where you were meant to be.
It's just, and it's so cool because like the show ties so hard into that. Like I would not be on this escalated scale of healing if we hadn't started the show. So I need everybody to know that. I would not be where I am right now if Brandy and I hadn't met And then if we hadn't have carried this along and met you two, like I wouldn't be in this place. And I am happy as fuck. I'm just happy.
You're so
Can we
cute.
get another cheers?
Can we get a cheers? Amen to that.
I just love you guys. I'm so
I love
happy.
that.
I'm so happy. I was just looking forward to this
And it's
show
so crazy
much.
because, and I think all of us can agree that we all kind of were calling for something, looking for something like this, and for many
more,
years, right?
for a little bit more,
and for more, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the friendship we've all bonded, and the cheer groups, and like,
Yeah,
you know,
genuine.
yeah, and
people.
showing people
nice.
how we can be honest and real and there for each other. And if you guys can see some of the DMs and the conversations that we have privately, that's where the massive growth comes as well, and that's what brings us to different levels on the show, because we've had these discussions, you know, like you said, like even just the miscarriage one, having that different conversation where maybe you guys wouldn't be able to have that, or like talking about adoption in such a way that like gives me full clarity of like, this is what it should be, or just even our body image with all of us, right? Like it was like, wow, we all went through the same things, and now going forward, like I have such a different appreciation for your guys' journeys of what that was like, and reflected on like, you know, like being a little bit, you know, in some ways grateful for mine and seeing how it's the same and different, and I don't know, it's so cool. I love it.
It's cool, it's big, it's awesome.
It is I'm so proud. I'm proud. It's because we have a timeline tonight. Let's bounce to Hales. How is your
I got through 2 questions.
I got through 2 questions. Well, we shouldn't have had such a big
love it.
we just guys, we could talk for 7 years.
Why we need a part 2, right?
I'm good
we'll have
for
part
all
2
the time.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll have
all the
to.
times. Hales, what
Love
was
it.
your family environment like up in Edmonton?
So my parents were never married, but they split when I was 2.
Me too.
Yeah, and then my
too.
stepmom came in the picture when I was 5. So I've had
Okay, me too.
I've had siblings since I was 5, and I love them both to death. It was pretty normal growing up. I saw my dad every second weekend and hung out with my brothers. And then would go home to my mom during the week. Are we living the same life, Dee, or what?
I'm trying not to keep interrupting you. Yeah, I'm like, same.
So, I don't know. It was pretty standard, I guess. Like, I'd go swimming and hang out with my dad. My mom wasn't, like, super outdoorsy or sportsy. So, she was a single mom. So, I had kind of, I don't know. I had a great life, great childhood, great everything. But like with my mom, I was more the like I've said before, house husband, and like had to help her along, and like we split things down the middle, and like chores and stuff that way. But with my dad, having my stepmom and my dad and my brothers was just like 2 totally different worlds, pretty much. So that was awesome growing up. And then as I got older and met Nick, I stopped like going every second weekend, obviously, to my dad's the older I got, but still see them all the time, saw them all the time. We unfortunately lost my brother in 2019, my older brother, or not older, but oldest brother, Jared. He was the middle one of us. I still have my youngest brother, Connor. Love you. Out there. So he is with my parents in Edmonton. I live in Sherwood Park, so my grandparents live in Sherwood Park. My aunt and uncles live in Sherwood Park. I've pretty much grown in Sherwood Park my whole life, so we are all pretty close-knit. My mom's family lives all over Canada, so we don't really see each other often, but I do have like regular Zoom calls with my mom and grandpa on Sundays, and we still try and keep in touch. We lost my grandma on my mom's side 2 years ago now, or a year ago now. And my grandpa's he's doing pretty good, but it's just nice having the Zooms to get to keep in touch. But yeah, I was a single only child on my mom's side, so I got different treatment on both because I wasn't an only child on my dad's side. But I grew up all in all pretty freaking awesome, if I do say so myself.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, my home life compared to like some, now that I think about it, like you said, like looking back on it, like I used to think like this shit is crazy, like I'm not so much alone, but like you make such a big deal out of like such small things when you're younger and like growing up and stuff. So looking back at it, yeah, I have no complaints. 10 out of 10 would recommend and do again. So far. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. It's hard too. It's like you grow and you're like, okay, well, you know, at first you're like that angsty teenager. It's like everything is your parents' fault and everyone else's fault, and they're all fucking
Fuck the
stupid and they
world.
don't know anything. Yeah, fuck the world.
Yeah.
So it's like when you grow up and you start like healing your trauma, let's say from whatever that's developed, and you're just like, okay, well, I see why that maybe could have happened, you know? It's always been with my mom. Like, you did the best you could with the cards you were dealt with. Like, a lot of it was not your fault. And when when I was a teenager, I believed it was, but as I grow up and see that I have to deal with some shitty cards as well, I see, like, you know, but enough about me. Back to D. Your environment sounds like it was very close to Hale, so that's kind of funny, but not
very
shocking.
yeah. And with that part that you were just talking about, I find almost the opposite to myself. Like I found, like I never noticed anything bad, weird, whatever. Like everything was just amazing. Besides like the body image stuff from like the
except
last
for the
episode.
asshole people that were
The
fucking
odd
assholes.
thing, until I got even the last couple years, I'm like,
I'm still mad
I was
about
in
that.
a lot of dangerous places. Like I'm actually really mentally fucked up because of a lot of things. Not blaming anybody, but you know what I mean?
Looking
Like,
back that way, I know what you mean.
kind of that way.
Yeah.
But I besides the body image stuff, like literally zero complaints. So same thing. My parents split up when I was 2, and I have one younger sister with like same mom and dad. And then my dad found, well, I was introduced to my stepmom at age 5, and then I'm sure they dated however long before, but then they got married. I think it was in like grade 3. So I have 2 twin stepsisters a year older than me, and that like we were all pretty similar in age, like super close and stuff. Love them. My stepmom's awesome. Besides that one little thing from the body image thing, fucking love her to death though. Like she's literally the best human.
That's mine too. I call her my evil stepmother.
And like we literally, like we just were always outside. I colored on a blanket 3/4 of the time. Like we swam in a little pool, or we'd be biking for 8 hours of the day, kind of thing. Which now you think about it, it's like I was just gone.
Dude, that's how it was. I had this Velcro watch I would put on, and I was just like,
all the neighbors, we all just met. There's like 12 of us biking around.
Dude, we biked around some like shitty parts of Edmonton we shouldn't have been. Yeah.
My sister and I, age 7, walking and getting a froster. It's like, you know, things like that. But like no complaints. Like my mom spent absolutely every fucking penny she had, which like to the point like too much, you know, on us. Like we had so many toys, so many things. Like we were broke. Like we probably wouldn't have been honestly as broke, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, like, we just like we had an amazing childhood, honestly.
And wanted you to feel
I went and saw my dad every other weekend, but eventually, like when I got to an age, like sometimes I'd go there for a whole week or 2, or like not go there for a full 2 weeks, or like just whatever it was. But yeah, like besides the odd kind of little thing that you really pinpoint once you grow up.
Like I'll never forget that one time you said.
Like during that time, it was amazing, and like for what they are from coming from like, they're like, oh gosh, from my small town, like there's a lot of people that would not, like there's a lot of not good parents and people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they didn't come from good places, and they
did good.
Did what they could.
Yeah. They did good.
Yeah. And like I just said, I mean, I had a great childhood, and now looking back, I'm like, fuck, that's a lot of scary shit, but it was fun for me.
You
made it
through, I guess. especially teenage shit. Like holy fuck. Well, let's.
For sure.
We'll try and like end with this one, kind of, you know, because we're with our time. But this has been awesome. We'll start with like favorite childhood memories. Kayla, what's your favorite? Can you remember anything a favorite of your childhood memories?
I got so many. Okay, first time I ever rode a dirt bike. I can't remember how old I was, but this is like one of like the staple memories that wasn't shit that I hold on to. Because there were some shit, you know, like I get adopted, I get into a good family, and my mom worked all the time and my dad worked all the time, so we had a babysitter, you know? Like right now, I'm grateful for the fact that my son is in school and we have before and after school care. My parents didn't have that. So at the time when I was growing up, my mom had her best friend, whom she thought was her best friend, whom she thought was going to look after us and take care of us.
Debbie didn't know.
Debbie didn't know, and it's not her fault, and we don't blame her, and I don't blame the other woman either. I've come to this place in my life where I know my babysitter had some shit going on in her life that she didn't deal with. And that's why she was the way that she was. So I choose to forgive it. And it's fine. It's fine. But a funny fucking memory was the first time my brother was on a dirt bike in front of me. They're like telling him, he's like, yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And then I go to get on and I'm like, he can do it. I can do it. I didn't even fucking listen. I'm like, don't even fucking tell me nothing. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. And so
he can do it. I can do it. Here's
how that went. I get on the dirt bike. They're like, here's the throttle. Here's the brake. I'm like, okay, cool. Fucking full crank. Full throttle. Full throttle. Forgot about the brake.
You do in those situations.
I'm beelining for the dugout.
Oh my god.
My babysitter's husband is chasing me full fucking throttle.
Like he's gonna catch you.
Banging on my helmet as he's just like, he's like bang, bang. And I'm just fucking like pin.
Go on.
Right?
Eat dust, bitch.
I'm like, bye. So I'm heading
fuck, boy.
Heading straight for the dugout. Fast as fuck, boy. That's the best thing ever. I'm heading straight for the dugout. I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm like,
I've had a good life.
Throttle out, you know? When in doubt, throttle out. I'm like fucking 7 or 8. I don't care. Fucking let's go. So that's happening. He's still kind of like chasing me, trying to tap on my helmet, and everything's all good. And I'm like, wait a minute. Should I hit the brake? What? And then I figured out
those.
Yeah, I figured out the brake at like the last second or whatever. Literally the last second. This is so stereotypical. Like I was like, brake. And then I fucking like hit the ground so hard, I knocked myself out. And I wake up.
Oh my god!
I wake up on my mom's fucking lap. Like the dugout is like fucking 40 feet that way. I wake up on my mom's lap on the deck. Yeah. I wake up on my mom's lap on the deck and I open my eyes and I'm like, what happened? And she's like, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. Oh, she's like, brake, throttle. There's a brake and there's a throttle. There's a brake and there's a throttle. He tried to tell you. She's like, this is what you get for trying to be like your brother. I'm like, So I literally looked her in the face and I said, if he can do it, I can do it better.
And you still did it.
And you still did it.
Tough landing.
Okay, yeah, you just found out the wrong way.
It was my first fucking attempt. I'm like, full send.
I feel like that's you though. Like, what? I'm gonna do this. I don't fucking care what you say. Let's go. Oh shit.
Yeah.
But you figured it out and you didn't die. So
yeah, thank God.
I'm still here.
Important.
I love that.
Right?
That's my favorite memory, but like that's like
that's your favorite memory
in the brain.
You're knocked out.
That's in the brain because all my other memories from
it's just a core
that point in time in my life were shit. They were shit.
Yeah.
So like that's what I hold on to because we helped them build the dirt bike track. We helped them build all that stuff. They were not like. I'm not saying he wasn't a good man. And I don't want to say she wasn't a good woman because I just said before we came on the show, I recognized that she had some trauma that she hadn't dealt with. But like, do you see my fucking devil horns back here? Like, I'm like,
She was not a good woman at the time.
She wasn't good to me at the time. And at the time, I was so fucking mad. And to a point, like when I would see them, I would still cross the street. Like if I fucking see you,
I hate that.
Don't get close.
My brain would short circuit. But anyways, so that was like kind of one of my weird, funny memories that I absolutely remember. It was absolutely hilarious because I'm like, my brother could do it. I can do it better.
First time Kayla meets her ego.
Yeah.
I love that. But also it showed you that you just didn't give a fuck and you went for it, right? And that you're always just going to go head first and do it.
And that's how I've been ever since.
100%. That's why we love you. Hales, how about you? Do you have a favorite childhood memory you can remember?
Well,
Or
as
just
soon as
something in
Kayla told
general?
that one, I have one to match, but mine was the reason I thought of it is because, like, it reminded me of something that would happen in the movies. Like, it quite literally was, like, every time I tell it, it just, like, hurts my heart to think that I had to go through it. So anyways,
Okay.
me and a girlfriend were 13 years old,
My favorite.
and we were skiing with her family in, I'm pretty sure it was Canmore. So we're skiing, and we get paired up on the chairlift with these two really cute guys. We were 13. They probably had to be easily over 18. Like, they were older than us. And me and her, being the smartasses we are, we go to French school, we speak French. We decided to speak French about them in front of them on the ski lift. So we're going on and on about how cute they are and how she wanted to do him and like
I forgot
how
that
this,
people
that, and
could speak
the other
French.
thing, and yeah, just being like complete smartasses, not even realizing that like we're not the only people on planet Earth that speak French. So halfway through that, the one guy looks at me and goes, "Ah, tu parles français," and we're like,
"Oh no, je parle français."
We turn and look at each other like, yeah, like, oh my god. So we go to get off this chair so fast that we go down this like weird side of the mountain, and we both ended up crashing cartoon style into trees with our feet up in the air, skis up in the air, ass against the tree, like just completely splayed out, and they ended up skiing by and going like, "Oh hey," and we're like,
Oh my god.
"Hey," like,
Hey.
fuck.
So funny.
It was just one of those moments in life that every time I think about it, I'm like, there's no way this happened to me, but it did, and it was like the most
Oh my
embarrassing
God.
day ever. So shout out Kayla
that.
to
That's
the like,
mean.
yeah,
Oh, that is so funny.
That
one
is
of the funniest
amazing.
times of my 13
So
year
I
old
hate
life.
being awkward and embarrassing at that age. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Dude, I will
Dee,
never
what
forget
about
that.
you? I'm never gonna forget it now either.
The worst.
Well, it's funny. I had a similar story where, like, I was 13 and went skiing for my first time, and I fucking ate shit and bounced into things. So same similar thing, minus the boys. But my favorite, there's so many like good core memories. I feel, but probably so I played competitive softball up until I was 18.
Yes.
And I like lived at the Diamond. So I had like practices like 4 times a week, 5 times a week, but like the best was just like tournaments with your friends,
Yes.
staying in hotels
Yes.
and like all that, like
The
all
shenanigans.
the baseball stuff is my favorite memories.
Yeah.
Like they were just always so fun. My dad
Bullshit.
was the coach, so obviously I got away with a little more. But
I love that.
it was so fun, and I don't know, kind of just being outside so much too is just like it's not one specific memory,
Yeah.
but like my sister and I were just always outside,
was like-
and like we did a lot of dumb shit, like making potions or burning grass,
Dude,
like random
potions.
things
Oh my god, I
everywhere.
remember
Making
that.
pies, smoking stuff in paper.
Or anytime my mom, okay, one actually quick story. We had one of those like pump kind of sinks or whatever where you could do like fake dishes and whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom used to always keep frozen water bottles in the freezer, and we took one out and filled it up with like dirty soap water. And we just like kind of stood around the corner waiting for her to drink it until she drank it. Oh my god, we were
You
pretty
guys are
bad.
the
What,
worst.
shithead? Oh my god, that's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, we got in a lot of trouble.
I'm kind of like you, Dee, where it's like I enjoyed my childhood. Like, even though what was
Yeah.
really cool is that I had all these different
Like
families.
every day was like a fun.
Yeah, so I'd go
event.
like to my grandparents, and my grandparents took me on trips. Like, they took me to West Edmonton Mall with a train. So we went through the Rockies on a train,
Nice.
and we stayed in the West Edmonton Mall for a week. And
I love that.
they took me to Paris
Yeah.
when I was 19 for graduating French
Oh, wow,
immersion.
that's
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah, we went to London and Rome, and so because I wanted to quit French immersion, so they promised me if I graduated in it that they would take me.
That's
And
cute.
grad day, I got a bon voyage. We're gonna go, and they gave me the option: did you want to do the full 2 weeks in Paris, or did you want to break it up while we're over there and see other parts of Europe? So I went to
See other
London for 4
parts.
days.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I went to London
Nice.
for 4 days, and Rome for 5, and then Paris for the 7 days.
London's cool.
London is
Yeah.
very cool. It was all very, very cool. I was 19 years old.
Was it pouring when you went? It was pouring when I went, but it's pouring all
Yeah,
the time.
we went to the
I feel like that's very
we went
London.
to the Disneyland. Yeah, we went to Disneyland in Paris and it
There's
was
a Disneyland
raining.
there.
Yes,
Shit.
yeah, en français. And the
So
Parisian French is
cool.
very different. So, but
So
we were,
cool.
my childhood was really cool. Like my grandparents always traveled places where my mom always took us camping. So we're always doing and going to the lake and stuff
Nice.
like that. Like there's
Still the local home stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
the island's a beautiful place. Like we'd always go. Like there's just so much in nature to do there.
For
so we would do
sure.
that a
Camping
lot.
is such a
Growing up on
camping
the
is such a
island
good
is
child core memory.
is
That's so true.
yeah. I was
That's a
gonna
good
say
one.
my cabin is too, but growing up on the island is
Camping.
totally like it's a
a vibe.
privilege for
It's
sure.
another
It's
vibe.
very
Because
much
it is
so.
so nice. It is just so
It's beautiful.
beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't like I did obviously didn't like explore as much as I could have, but we definitely did.
Still,
Like
yeah.
we still did a
Yeah.
lot for what we did because that's what I grew up. That's why I wanted to come back to Kelowna so bad. Like I would just like be in Grand Prairie and I would dream about the moss and the vegetation here and like the
I
pine
love that.
trees are different, right? And I was like, I just want to be around moss. Like I just want to put my
Not just
feet
the
in the
fields.
ground.
So
Yeah, like-
crazy. I need moss.
I
Give me
just
the
want
moss.
moss surrounded me. But I also grew up in French immersion where we were the same class. So from preschool and kindergarten all the way to grade 12 essentially was the same people. So we went through a lot of shit together.
Dude,
and,
that was us.
It's just
The-
cool,
us.
right?
We were like 90
ground
kids,
up.
and we were
Yeah.
The-
We were like 25.
it-
Only 25 of us, and we all
25 kids.
no, ours
yeah,
was
per grade, like per grade, per
Yeah.
grade.
Oh,
So, like,
I
same
was
class.
I was like, holy fuck.
no, our school was
Per grade
similar.
in French
Yeah.
immersion.
Well, French immersion was different
From
too.
1910. Like, what the fuck?
There were not kids having sex at 12 in my life, and there was not just 25 kids in my school. Do not spread those rumors.
It was not just one old schoolroom.
But yeah, I agree.
Oh
I
my
agree.
God.
I think then, like I said, there's lots of stuff. There's lots of shit with like family stuff and drama. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
looking back, I feel very, very blessed considering what a lot of other kids grew up in.
For sure.
I think the divorced families and the split families and the extra families really taught me a lot, and it helped in my personal
100%.
life when I needed to make that decision.
Yeah.
And you know, so I feel again, like you guys said, very blessed, very
Mhm.
lucky. There's some things I would change. Maybe one day I'll share the bad stuff. You know, like I did get my father's an alcoholic. There's a lot there. My grandma was 16 when she had my mom. My mom was 19 when she had me. So my grandma was
That's
36 years
fucking
old. So
young.
very young. So
Mhm.
it wasn't
Fucking
necessarily by
young.
anybody didn't do anything wrong. We did lots of fun,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it was like, you know, babies raising babies.
They
So
did the
that
best
comes
they
in
They're still
had
growing
with
up
what
too,
they
yeah.
could do, right?
100%.
They did the
And I tell
they
my mom
could
that
with what
all
they
the
had.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman.
We
Kayla's
love
had the
her.
privilege of
I
meeting her, and,
fucking love
and the girls
her.
are slowly kind of start. I'm trying. I'm
Yeah,
really
and she's our star researcher.
Lisa.
Here's to Lisa.
Cheers to Lisa. Cheers to Mama.
Lisa.
But
I
it's
love
true
that.
though. Like, I feel like because all of the things that happened to us as a kid, I think what developed who we are now, and I'm very proud of
For
all
sure.
of
For
us
sure.
where we're gonna
Yep.
go. So good, bad, the
Mhm.
ugly got us here, and I think if as people we can
Amen.
have some grace for that. It's such. I'm not saying
We could all be way worse.
Yeah.
exactly, and I'm not saying forgive and go back. Like I'm not saying that, but you know, dead relationships are dead relationships. But when I look back, I don't hold any anger anymore, right?
Right.
Like I'm not going to be mad
For
at
sure.
my father for those things. That is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
I don't want a relationship further with him, but you know, I wish
Mhm.
him well and them well, and it is what it is. You know, things
Yeah.
like that. And I think, yeah, we can all feel that
Exactly.
way, and I'm very proud of
Some
all
people
of
are
us.
not meant to be in your life,
No, and it's not a negative
no matter
thing.
what the relationship.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's not always a bad thing, you know. I wish the best for everyone, but fuck, I have barely enough time for my
Yeah.
mom, my boyfriend, and you guys. Like, life is crazy busy.
Dude,
like,
there's not enough
I know.
hours in
No
the
time to
day.
breathe.
no, we're too
Seriously.
busy doing
Yeah.
content for you guys and researching and
And
editing, but we love it.
Working.
And life.
Working.
And
Yeah.
now the beach
Ugh.
because it's nice
Sun
out.
is
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
It's
it was
I
so
love
beautiful
it.
today.
Sun is out.
Well, I'm done my drink. I think we're about that time that we said we would hit to.
Pretty
So
close.
last
Yep.
cheers, guys. Thank you for
God.
10,000.
Last sip.
Last sip, last all of it. You
Oh
girls.
my god, look how fucked I look.
This is what I look like after several drinks. Oh, sorry if you guys can't see it on the audio. Go to YouTube or Rumble. Well, guys,
I love
to the
it.
next season, to the next 10,000, everyone that's listening,
Yes.
thank you guys so much. Follow us on
Thank
all
you.
social media
Yes.
platforms, Facebook, Instagram.
Keep watching. Keep that
Pinterest.
number going
Yeah.
up.
Keep watching.
Yes.
Like video, share our shit, reach out if you want. We love you. And oh, I gotta get my until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by the show today. We truly hope that you had a good time. If you liked this episode and you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe to our channels, like our episodes, and turn on those notification bells. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, and Google Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Until next time, guys.